All right, everybody, welcome back to $10 Sports. We're so excited to be back. A little bit of a different format. We moved over to YouTube, so we'll get the channel up and running. This is our first video episode of $10 Sports. A little bit of a different format, as you can see. What the great thing is, though, is that we have Mike here. But before we show him on the screen, let's hit that intro.
10
Dollar
Sports.
All right, everybody, we are back, and Mike is not there. Oh, there he is. There he is.
What is up?
All right, Mike. Happy to see you with the fedora, I guess.
Yeah, trying a little bit new look, just trying to, put something on my head. I suffer from male follicle cranium reduction. Which
Is that scientific?
No, I was just trying to sound smart and impress you on our first show of the year, which probably didn't make sense. But yeah, as you can see, I have a balding pattern. So for the since we're actually on video now, and for the
protection, the protection.
Of our audience, I decided to wear a hat so they don't have to sit here and watch the reflection of the light hitting off my head. I'm not trying to blind anybody or make you think you're looking at the sun while you're indoors enjoying our show.
Nice. So, of course, Mike and I have been working over the summer to this is kind of our little passion project, if you will, kind of a little bit of fun after hours for us. Really excited because we were able to split our former $10 Sports podcast, which main episodes were over an hour sometimes. We're going to try and do 3 different shows. Of course, this one, $10 Sports, that's going to be focused on the sports gambling. We moved, kind of doing like a not safe for work type of show, the Triple B, Balls, Brews, and Bros, where Mike and I will share a beer or two, talk about some sports topics, talk about our fantasy teams, and kind of really go back and forth with each other, kind of how we did on the podcast. But we're really excited for the Buc'ing Hangover, where it's going to be our post-game show reaction to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers games over the next couple weeks. Hopefully that includes some playoffs, but probably not. Mike, tell us what you're really excited for with our new schedule.
Our new schedule has some flexibility. We're not going to sit here and board you about sports betting for an hour. Our $10 sports shows be here about 15 minutes. Here's our bets. Here's what we suggest. Here's what we're doing. Here's how we're doing. Kind of make it nice, short, and sweet. We got our other show, Triple B, Balls, Brews, and Bros. That's going to be more like a fun show. Me and Moose just kind of kicking it back, talking about sports, having a couple beers, maybe more. Once I think the show will get more entertaining as the more beers go down. But also the show is not just about sports. It's going to be a sports focus, but me and Moose might throw in some other topics on there as well. Maybe some TV shows we're watching, some movies we just watch, or just some pop culture in general. But definitely sports focus. Moose also has a show coming out, very lightning focus, called the Thunderdome
Puckcast.
Yep.
Puckcast. So we'll get that rolling probably at the end of September. Preseason starts in the next few weeks. Braden Point's still not signed, and he may be holding out to start the season. That hasn't happened in the NHL for a couple years, where players held out. So we'll see if any magic happens in the next few weeks for signing Braden Point, but I'll cover all that in our first episode coming up soon.
Yeah, so that's a show. This will be exciting. I will not be on our show. Maybe I'll make a guest appearance here or there, because as you guys know, listening to our show previously, I do not know much about hockey, and I just read the headlines and try to get Moose to talk about them. So I'll be honest on there. Hockey is not my sport. It is Moose's sport. He's very passionate about it, and he knows a lot about it. So it'd be very good to kind of listen to him talk about some hockey. I'll come in there every once in a while and make some kind of comments or try to sound smart, but probably not that smart. But our Buc'ing Hangover show, the show that we're kind of looking forward to, is basically we were probably try to stream it on Sunday nights or Mondays, kind of like recovering from the Bucks game. I'm predicting that we're going to have a lot of things that we're going to be hungover about and upset about, and just a good little place for us to come and vent about our team that we've been following for pretty much most of our lives and the direction that they're heading. Hopefully we're both wrong and it's not a hangover. It's what's the antonym of hangover, Moose? It's your
We
Our
keep on
third.
drinking. We're going to be happy drinking, no hangover. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we'll talk about the Buccaneers when we get to that show. I think I like setting my expectations as low as possible for the Buccaneers. I think we'll be hearing the Price is Right losing horns quite a lot. Play them again. One of my favorite sound clips that we have for the show as well. But let's get right to it, Mike. I'm going to put up all the games for week 1 now. I know you can't see the screens, but you know what picks you've made, and we'll get to your picks in a moment. But did you have any games that were really no-goes for you that you didn't even want to throw $1 at?
Yeah, because it's week 1. You don't know what you're really getting. You don't know how these teams are going to show up. Like last year, I would have picked the Bears to lose pretty much against anybody they're playing, even though they did just get Khalil Mack based on the year before. So this year, same story. You don't know who's showing up for any team, which player you're getting, what's yet. Like, for example, the Seattle Seahawks. They have a running back that committee, like which running back is going to play this year. They don't have a receiver now. I think Tyler Lockett's their only target right now. I know they drafted DK Metcalf, but he's been hurt, so I'm not sure if he's there week 1. So who is Russell Wilson throwing to other than Tyler Lockett? What kind of year is Russell Wilson going to have? How much running around is he going to be needing to do because the offensive line? Defense, completely new defense. Usually the Seahawks are an easy choice to pick, especially when they're playing against a team like they're playing this week, which is the Cincinnati Bengals. Seahawks would usually be a team which I'm going to touch, but not this year. I want to give them a couple weeks, see who's showing up, seeing what their game plan is, and see what their strategy is before I touch them. So that's one game there. Another game is the Atlanta Falcons and Minnesota Vikings. Like, who's showing up to that game? What's going on there? I'm not touching that game either. How about for you, Moose?
I was on board with the Minnesota Vikings Falcons. I think Matt Ryan and I think the Falcons are just so unpredictable. I think we know what we're going to get from the Vikings, but I mean the Falcons could go out and score 48 points, or they could go and score 0 points. They've been so inconsistent the last few years. Matt Ryan seems to be starting his decline, and he just I don't know. Devontae Freeman again, another kind of inconsistent player. He's either amazing or he's going to be shut down. So that was a game I definitely stayed away from. Another game I stayed away from. Really didn't want to look at the Eagles and Redskins with the spread being so big. I think the Eagles can cover it. I don't think the Redskins are going to be good by any means, but right now it's double-digit spread, and I do not like making bets on spreads so big.
And the Redskins, they're rolling with Case Keenum week 1.
Right,
is that correct?
That's right. They are rolling with Case Keenum.
And their best defensive lineman, Trent Brown, I believe his name is. I don't know why I can't remember his name right now, but he has not shown. I think Trent Williams is actually his name. Yeah, Trent Williams. He hasn't showed up yet to camp, and he's not going to be playing week 1. So I mean, that's a big hole there.
Yikes!
That they're going to have there. And you got Darius Geis, though. He's going to be making a return. I cannot even name a Redskins receiver.
I cannot name because I think Josh Doxson moved on.
Yep, he's on the Vikings now.
Garcon has been there, I think, for a year or two. I mean, I guess who do they have at tight end? Jordan
Reed and
right.
Vernon Davis.
Yeah, Vernon Davis, the ageless wonder, right up there with Frank Gore, who's still playing for the Bills, right?
Yep.
So I think I had one more no-go, and I think it's going to be Colts and Chargers. And I know you were really eager to jump on the Chargers. I just, deep down inside, I hope it's Jacoby Brissett's time to shine. He's had the talent. I don't know. I didn't want to touch that game. It's truly his first game as a starter for the Colts outright. So I don't know. I think there's a couple question marks there, and that's a game I wanted to stay away from until we have more data to go on the Colts.
Yeah, and I agree with that one as well. Jacoby Brissett just found out about a week ago that he is the starter and Andrew Luck retiring. I think that team is definitely pretty upset about that because I don't think the team really knew. It seems like a lot of players were shocked about the retirement. So I think they gotta kind of just get together get over that hump and move forward as a team. And that's not something that happens overnight. It's going to take a couple weeks to get there and get that chemistry going.
Right. A couple of the late games, the Bucks and 49ers they're a toss up. Essentially, Bucks not even getting any respect for home field advantage because they're both even. Little concerned with the Cowboys and Giants spread. Again, that's getting close to double digits now as the line keeps moving there. I know one of your picks that you'll talk about a little bit to close out Week 1, Broncos and Raiders. Where do you think the Raiders end up this season?
Raiders, I think they're going to be more like I think they're going to be improved over last season. I give them about maybe like an 8-8, 500 year. I think they are coming together good. I'm on them. I know I'm in the minority here, but I do like what John Gruden's doing over there. I think he's building a really young team. Derek Carr just gaining more experience. I know there's an emphasis with John Gruden working on Derek Carr's completions, making sure that he gets a lot of completions and gets that completion percentage up, which is going to result into scoring some touchdowns. I like what they're doing. I like their tight end, Darren Waller. He's a stud, 4'4", 40, 6'6". I don't know how many people know him. He's available out in about over 95% of fantasy leagues. If you don't have a tight end, take a chance on him. If you do have a tight end, pick him up and put him on your bench and use him as trade bait later, because I think he is going to be a breakout player this year for sure. And the Broncos, another playing against the Broncos. I don't know where you're getting with the Broncos. They had a bad year last year. And I think the Ravens just have a little bit more upside than the Broncos do, in my opinion.
Bringing in Joe Flacco to take over at the helm at quarterback. Let me take another gander here at Week 1. Anything that stands out to me. Really excited for the mega Cleveland Browns that are now might have catapulted themselves into competitors into the NFC North. That was kind of a game I wanted to stay away from, but one of my picks is from that game. How do you feel? Are you on the Browns bandwagon yet?
No, I'm not. I've seen too many dream teams get put together and end up being flops, just like the Eagles were about 3 or 4 years ago when they had their dream team and finished season like 6-10. So I'm not sold on the Browns yet. I'm not a believer. I still think that is the Steelers' division, and the Steelers are going to win that division. Browns' best opportunity is going to be, best chances are for like a 6 seed wild card or a wild card position. When too much talent on one team does not usually work out as good as most people like to think. On paper, yeah, they're probably going to win the Super Bowl on paper, but realistically, in a new head coach who was just offensive coordinator for a few weeks and then became head coach, that's another red flag for me. I don't know if he can control all that talent, all the personalities in that locker room.
Let's move over to the $10 parlay picks. Mike, your picks are on the screen. We'll go through them one by one. You're starting off with Thursday night game. You're taking Packers on the money line as the underdogs at plus 140 right now.
Yep. The Packers had a really tough time with the Bears last year. They lost both times to them. The Bears pretty much manhandled them. I think Aaron Rodgers is healthy this year. The whole Green Bay Packers team is healthy, and both sides of the ball is healthy. And I think Aaron Rodgers has something to prove, and this is going to be the game where he kind of just proves that, hey, I'm Aaron Rodgers and I'm back. So I'm really leaning towards Green Bay this game. It's a statement game for them, absolutely.
And one of, I think our only mutual pick, I think we both had the Chiefs at -4, and I would agree with you there. That I feel that was a little bit of a gift from Vegas. I think that they easily cover the spread, even though they're on the road. Tell me a little bit about the Jets. You're taking them at -3 with the spread.
Yep, I'm taking them -3 with the spread. I do like the Jets. I think that Sam Darnold's going to have a second-year improvement. He's got a quarterback whisperer and Adam Gase there with him. Forget about his facial expressions.
Makes some great facial expressions.
Yeah,
he gets
does.
intense.
I don't know what he's on when he's on the sidelines. He should be getting drug tested, not the players, in my opinion. But Sam Darnold, I think, has the right coach for him. He's got great weapons around him. Le'Veon Bell, he's got a great young tight end. Robbie Anderson and him showed that they had some good chemistry last year. Quincy, Inanora, however you pronounce that name. He's back, and they had some chemistry earlier in the year before he got injured. They signed Jamison Crowder, who's a very underrated talent. He's very good, very quick, and good in the slot. So they got a good group of receivers. He's definitely not lacking weapons whatsoever. I know there's a question mark with Le'Veon Bell, given the fact that he didn't play last year. And the Jets defense, I think they made some good offseason acquisitions as well. Jamal Adams is coming to his third year. He's a very good up-and-coming safety. So I think he has potential to be good as well.
You talked a little bit about the Raiders. Basically a toss-up with the Broncos, and you're taking Raiders on the spread of +1. One of the surprising picks I think you had, and you talked a little bit about them, but the Steelers, taking them as heavy underdogs over the Patriots, right now going at +205. Tell us about the Steelers pick.
Historically, the Steelers, not the Steelers, but the Patriots, they tend to give up like 2 games in the beginning of the season, and they usually lose to teams that they probably will face in the playoffs. And in my opinion, it's just part of the Bill Belichick madness and genius. He does not going to give all his cards away in week 1. He knows he'll face the Steelers in the playoffs, and that's when the Steelers will see a completely different team and wonder, where did this team come from? This is not who we played week 1. So I really do think that the Patriots do reserve themselves earlier in the year, try to get a feel for what's going on in the rest of the league, not show all their cards. And the Steelers, I think, have 0 distractions this year. They don't have the Antonio Brown saga, the Le'Veon Bell drama anymore. It's basically just at the end of the day, realistically, there's no one to blame at this point other than Ben Roethlisberger. If Ben Roethlisberger does not perform to his level, he's the reason why they're losing. It's no longer blaming AB, no longer blaming Le'Veon Bell. So there's a lot riding on Ben Roethlisberger's shoulders. Mike Tomlin has a lot riding on him as well. They made some great defensive draft picks this past draft on the Steelers. So I definitely do see the Steelers coming back and being a juggernaut, and I see them winning that AFC North. I'm sorry, and I do see them beating the Patriots week 1.
Awesome. So with those 5 picks all together, your $10 parlay of the week, $10 could net you $510.87.
Yep.
All right.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Let's see what happens. Let's move over to my picks, Moose's picks. Took a couple different games. We had the Chiefs game as a mutual game. I took them -4 with the spread. Game I kind of went back and forth, but also felt it was a little bit of a gift. LA Rams and Carolina Panthers. Really thinking that the LA Rams want to come out and make a statement, especially after that disappointing loss in the Super Bowl to the Patriots. Jared Goff's got a little bit to prove. Hopefully Todd Gurley is healthy and is actually going to be used.
He's got to prove his Goff's got to prove his big contract he just got.
Right. He's got to prove the big contract, and I think I'm hoping that Gurley's back for good. I know a few of our...
It's been very quiet on the Gurley situation.
It has. I mean, I remember...
What's going on with them?
I remember during the playoffs, both you and I were like, what is happening? Did what's his name forget how to coach? Or I mean, he had to have been injured, and you know, I know the Rams didn't give much details on that, but hopefully it's with the reemergence of Gurley, it should be a shoe-in for beating the Panthers by at least 3. I know Panthers offense is always kind of you never know what you're going to get. Hopefully we have Christian McCaffrey has a great week, my number 1 overall pick. But we'll see how that defense comes to play, especially with the addition of Gerald McCoy to that front 7 for Carolina. Took the Chiefs. I took the Lions on the money line over the Cardinals with Kyler Murray's first game. I don't know if they pull off the win against the Lions. I think they've made some improvements on offense. I can't really speak too much to their defense, but I'm hoping Kerryon Johnson's on his way up, so they'll be able to put some pressure on the Cardinals, especially with a few of their key players on defense out for week 1.
You just have to see which Matt Stafford shows up.
Right. And I know he's had a little bit of some challenges over the off season, so with his personal life. So hopefully his wife has been recovering from some of the surgery she's had. I am hopping on the Browns bandwagon, and I'm taking them with the spread at -6. So I think they can get the job done. I think the city of Cleveland's finally.
I hope they do.
Hopefully they'll be able to open the Bud Light fridges immediately this year to get the Browns with their first win in Game 1 of the season. I think my surprise pick, and a pick that hopefully I'm not kicking myself over, but listen to my argument. Cowboys -7.5. I'm going to take the Cowboys with the spread. With Zeke announcing today that he's back, he'll be in the game for game 1. I really think they can take it to the Giants, who really don't have anyone exciting to talk about until Eli Manning finally decides to retire.
Hey, don't forget about Saquon.
I know they have Saquon, but unless he's going to carry the ball 50 times and gain 400 yards, I don't know. I don't think the Giants can keep up with the Cowboys unless bad Dak shows up and he throws 4 picks.
And they lost Landon Collins, and they also lost Olivia Vernon.
Yep.
Yeah, so the Giants, I don't know, man. I don't know what they're going to do this year.
Yeesh. They're going to be calling for heads over there. It's definitely good to be a Jets fan. I don't know if the Jets make the playoffs this year, but I don't think.
I think Jets going to be surprisingly good this year.
Yeah, I think with Sam Darnold still kind of sneaking under, we're talking about how no one scooped him up in a few fantasy leagues as well, going undrafted in some leagues. So to close out, my $10 parlay for the week would only yield me $234.87. Of course, taking most of the favored team, so playing it a little safe. So we'll see if we can hit these and report back on some winnings next week. We'll see. We'll be keeping track every week as well. Mike and I have given ourselves $200 in Monopoly money, so hopefully we'll be able to not only win some money for ourselves, but also win you guys some money as well. So Mike, any closing remarks as we shut it down for our first episode of $10 Sports?
Closing remarks, not too much here. Glad we're back here. I'm recording, doing one of our hobbies, talking about sports. I can't wait for other shows. Please tune in; they're going to be very exciting, and we'll see you Monday for the Buc'ing Hangover.
That's right. And we'll probably get an episode recorded of Triple B in the next few days as well as we get to the weekend. So it's been Moose and MRod straight with the Triple B Sports Network. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you on the flip side. Follow us on Twitter. Still at $10 Sports. We'll probably start a Triple B Twitter in the next few days as well. We might hand that one off over to Mike, and I'll keep $10 Sports for me, so you'll get 2 different viewpoints on Twitter as well. Make sure you connect with us on Facebook. Like our page, $10 Sports. And, of course, give us hit that subscribe button on the channel for Balls, Bros, and Brews. It's been Moose and MRod. Have a great night.
Yep. Good night, y'all.